Pleasant day to you all, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Takunda Kitluda Sandy. I'm with the VUT team, and I'll be taking you through project management. Today, we are going to discuss on what project management is. So this is just an introductory part of what project management entails. Let's go together. So what is project management? Have you ever think what project management is? Take some time and reflect. If you go outside of your workplaces where you are, move around, you'll discover that there are projects that are happening around you every day and every hour. If you go out, you might discover that there are construction that are taking place. Some are constructing buildings, large buildings, some are constructing houses. Mostly they are project management. Project management is happening there. If you go out again, you might discover that there are events that are taking place, different places. Mostly they are project management that is happening there. So what is project management? Put simply, project management is knowing what you want to achieve, how you are going to achieve it, and knowing the amount of time that is required for you to achieve it. That's what project management is in a nutshell. So let's look for a slide and we go through what project management is together. Yes. Right. So what is a project? A project is any endeavor or activity that consumes money, that consumes time, that consumes human effort and technology in terms of regulated scope or limits in terms of scope. So a project can be anything. It can be small, it can be big, depending on what you are doing. A project can be building a house, a project can be constructing a dam, a project can be holding a seminar over some certain topics that you want to discuss. That can be called a project also. A project entails a lot of things. A project entails a lot of things. It's not only big things, even small things, they are considered as a project. You know, for example, you can actually prepare food for a birthday party. That can be also called a project, because all the process that are done until you have your final product, that is the food on the table, all the processes that you go through, there are processes that larger projects go through again. So regardless of how small it is, it's a project at the end of the day, right? So what are project characteristics? A project is temporary, that is, it has a beginning and end. A project cannot continue happening because a project is a temporary thing. It must start, go through a certain phase of time, and it must come to an end. That's what a project is. It's an endeavor, right? By endeavor, we are saying that it involves some form of work and some form of effort on the part of everybody that is involved in that project. So a project is an endeavor, right? A project is unique because it produces a unique product, or it produces one of a kind product rather than a collection of identical items. That's a project. So depending on the type of project, or depending on the type of activities that you are doing, a project can produce either a product, an item, a good, or a service as a deliverable. So, yes, there are 5 phases that entails project management. These 5 phases involves initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and control, then closure, right? These 5 phases are the ones that are called by this name that is popular, which you say project life cycle. Yes, they are the 5 phases. They call it project life cycle because these phases, they are experienced in any project that you go through, right? So we're going to discuss them by using an example that is simple for us to understand, right? The first phase is conception and initiation. Here is where we birth our idea. This is where we get the idea of what we want to do. It's called initiation. Like the name itself, it says initiation. You are initiating the project. And this is done in response to circumstances or needs that are required at that particular moment. Let's look at initiation. Right, initiation here, they're saying build a strong case for it. Why are we doing this? Okay, for this project life cycle, let's use an example. Say you've been tasked by your cousin to rear some chickens for a wedding event that is upcoming in 2 months, right? What caused this? What have caused for your cousin to ask you to do this thing is because of the high cost. Maybe they want 1,500 chickens for that wedding, and to buy those 1,500 chickens is very expensive than to rear them and then to have them at the end of the day. So your cousin will task you to say, no, can you please do this project for me? Can you rear 1,500 chickens for the upcoming wedding that we are going to have in 2 months' time? Yes. So for rearing chickens, for a chicken to grow, it needs 6 weeks. And sometimes they can go over 6 weeks to 7 weeks. But if they go to 7 weeks, usually it's because they would have experienced some form of hindrances during that rearing period. But usually for a chicken to grow from a small day-old chick to a fully grown chick, it needs 6 weeks. It will be fine, right? Let's look at our initiation here. So here they're saying build a strong case for it. Your cousin has told you that buying 1,500 chickens is way much expensive than rearing 1,500 chickens. So he gives you or she gives you that project yourself to do it, right? What do? You do a feasibility study. Is this possible? What your cousin is telling you to do, is it possible? Can it be done? Yes, it can be done. We've got 2 months ahead of us to start our our event. We've got 2 months ahead of us to our event, so it can be done because it only requires 6 weeks, right? So yes, it's feasible because it can be done. How much time does it need? It needs 6 weeks. And how much resources will it require? We look at the resources. We're going to need feed. We're going to need feeding troughs. We're going to need water troughs. We're going to need cages or maybe buildings that are already there, for chickens. So on feasibility study, it can be done because the resources can be found, right? Then they are saying identify key stakeholders here. You identify your key stakeholders. In this case, your key stakeholder is your your cousin, because he or she is the one who has given you the project to do. The develop a project charter. What is a project charter? A project charter is a document that authorizes a project to start. This document is usually written by the project sponsor. In this case, it's our cousin is the project sponsor. So a project charter is a document that authorizes a project to start, and that gives authority to a project manager to begin to utilize resources. That's what a project charter is. So in this case, our cousin is given us the mandate, and is given us the go ahead to start our project. So that is initiation, right? We go to planning. Here, they're telling us to develop a formal project management plan. We have to outline how the projects will be executed, monitored, controlled, and closed. We have to cover all the consequent stages of the project. All right. So in developing a formal project management plan, we need to plan for every detail that is going to be included in our projects. Here we have to plan, we have to schedule our time, we have to plan our costs, we have to plan risks. For risk, we have to plan for virtually everything. So to develop a formal project management plan, you have to plan a cost management plan. How you're going to distribute your resources, how you're going to distribute your costs, how you're going, what are you going to buy, what are you going to, these things have to be planned for. Also, you have to look at risks. What are the risks that you're going to face? So you develop a risk management plan again. Also, you have to look at scope. What are we going to be doing? What are the activities, the work that we are going to be doing? So you have to develop a scope management plan again. You have to develop a schedule. We have a time frame, remember? We want to achieve or we want to have 1,500 chickens in 6 weeks. So we have to schedule our time, and we have to adhere to that time to see that in 2 weeks' time, the guidelines of rearing chickens, they say that the chickens must be at a certain level, or they must be behaving in a certain way. So if they are not doing that, then there's a problem. So we need to plan for all these kind of things. All these cost management plan, schedule management plan, time management plan, risk management plan, they constitute or they add up to come up with a formal project management plan. That's what planning is all about. Then we look at execution. This is where the actual work begins. Taking our example, when we start doing our execution, this is where we assemble our team. In this case, we don't need a lot of people to raise chickens. We just need maybe 2 to 3 partners, right? So in this case, you have to find your team. You assign each other maybe duties or timetables that from this from 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. So and so will be doing this and this, or from after 12 to 1, you will be the one who will be checking the chickens. After 12, after 1 to 6, you will be the one who will be checking the chickens. It depends on how you plan it, but then you have to assign resources. After assigning what? After assembling a team, you have to assign your resources. Then you have to begin execution of the project management plan. That plan that we've been talking about in phase 2, that plan that we've been talking about, we start executing that plan. We have to identify our key performance indicators at execution and set up tracking systems. If we during the process of laying our chickens, if we find out that now these chickens are giving out funny sounds or something that is not familiar, we're not familiar with, or maybe they are not behaving the way that they're supposed to, we must be able to check that, and we must be able to come up with a solution for that. Then we have to schedule status meetings. You have to update project schedules. You have to modify plans as needed. Here, like scheduling startup meetings, it depends on the type of project that you're doing. If they're big projects, sometimes, like for example, constructing a block, a classroom block, these guys might be meeting, let's say, at each and every Friday after 5 days. They meet after every 5 days, or they meet once a week on Fridays for 1 hour to just discuss. In our example, or in our project that we are doing, that we are talking about, the example of rearing chickens, what we can do is we can create maybe a WhatsApp group, where everything that is happening with the chickens, everyone who's on duty at that time will be posting whatever is happening, such that at a certain point in time, maybe let's say 7 o'clock at night, we discuss for 30 minutes. No, this thing was happening, this, then we discuss. And we come up with what? With a solution. It all depends on the scale of the project. But scheduling status meetings is required. Updating project schedule is required. All these things are done during the execution phase, right? Then we look at monitoring and controlling. Here, you do cost tracking, you do quality management and overall project monitoring, you identify and prevent project bottlenecks. You make use of KPIs, monitoring. What are we talking about when we are saying we are monitoring? We are monitoring the behavior of our chickens. We are monitoring the mortality rate of our chickens. We are monitoring virtually everything that can impede the growth of our chickens. And if we see that something is not right there, we control it. Maybe these chickens have got a flu, or they are now suffering from any form of disease. We have to control it. But we can only find that they are suffering if we do monitoring each and every time. If you are always there, listening to the sounds that they are making, checking at their health, looking at even the feathers that they have, all those things, they can be used as monitoring indicators for our chickens. So that's what happens here in monitoring and controlling. Then we look at project closure. This is the final phase of our project. We have completed our project, right? After completion of our projects, we sit down and we discuss. We were targeting 1,500 chickens. How much chickens were we able to come up with? If we come up with 1,600 or more, then we know that our project was a success. If we come up with less than 1,500, we have to know that our project failed, because we're targeting 1,500. Then we look at why our project has failed. We discuss it. We check on which things we did wrong. We check on which things were right. We check on everything, right? So project closure is essentially closing the project after we've done. We were essentially closing the project. Here they're saying the final phase of the project completion, final deliverable is reviewed, signed off by the customer or client. That's what we were saying, that after we are done, we take our chickens, we call our cousin to come and see, then we discuss with the cousin, right? Then discussion meeting on the overall project performance, what happened during the project, we start to discuss. Which problems did we encounter? How was it? We discuss all those kind of things. We identify key successes and failures, which can be used in future projects. Then we identify that we made it wrong. We made a wrong turn by doing that at that particular moment, or we made it right by doing this or this or this at that particular time. That's what happens here. That is project closure, right? So yes, so project management is a bit different is actually different from project operations, or from operations management, if I may say, because you see, when you are doing project management, we say that we want to come up with a unique product. and this project management is time bound. But when it's operations management, it's not time bound, and it doesn't come up with a unique product, right? Operations management is repetitive, whereas project management is what? Is time bound. Operations management brings out the same result now and again, whereas for project management, we are coming with a unique product. We can take an example of, say, you yourself, right? You are a car manufacturer, you are a car designer. You want to design a sports car that has never been seen before, a sports car that has got lightweight materials, that has got carbon fiber, a sports car that is fast, a sports car that uses electricity, right, as its power source. So what you do is you go through all the phases that we're talking about. You go through the initiation phase, you discuss with the relevant stakeholders if it's necessary to do that kind of a project. And if they say it's necessary, then you go to the planning phase. You plan everything about your car. Then you go to execution, you execute it, you build your car, everything with different teams, with different skill sets and all that. Then you monitor and control. Yes, you have to monitor and control such that your car is within the specific range and parameters that you want. Then you do your project closure. You come up with a unique product at the project closure. And then your company is the one that say, no, we've got this product and what. It's one unique product that you've come up with. If that product is a success, then your project is what? Is finished. But if you decide that this car is good for the market, and then you want to mass produce it, then you start producing that car. It becomes operations management, because now you are producing, you are doing mass production, right? So you are doing mass production, doing repetitive tasks, right? And then afterwards, you are doing this for the sole purpose of staying in business, compared to a project that you were doing for the sole purpose of what? Meeting the needs that you wanted from the get-go. So that's the difference between operations management and what? And project management. Okay, I just wanted to, it just came to my mind, and I just wanted to brought it out to you to understand the difference between operations management and project management. So let's go with our slides. Here they're saying below are some of the examples of projects, right? We are carrying out a survey is a project, do a workshop or a seminar is a project, create a sculpture is a project, building a house, building a train, airplane, an airport, all these are projects, right? Then the importance of project management. Project management is very, very, very important in that it helps organizations improve communications. It also helps us to manage our quality, because without project management, we'll be having products or services that are below standard. So project management is a tool that is used to help us to keep ourselves or to keep our products at a level that is way above quality, right? So project management, it fast tracks projects again. So it's very important to have project management in our lives, right? Then there are different ways or approaches that are used to do project selection. They may be financial, that is, they may be based on a financial analysis that you do to see, maybe there are 3 different kind of projects you want to choose to see one which is best to do. You can use a financial approach to select a project. You can use financial approach and non-financial approaches. These are non-financial are the ones that you just use qualitative models to decide which project to take. So on quantitative models here, We've got payback period, net present value. We've got profitability index. All these quantitative methods or modules are used to select projects, but they are financial. And then these ones that are qualitative models, they are non-financial because you are not basing the selection of your project on monetary value, but you are basing it on factors that you want, on certain factors that you need your company to have or your project to have, right? Then we look at relationships between portfolios, programs, and projects. There are differences between a project, a program, and portfolio. Yes, a portfolio is a collection of programs which are managed together. A program is a group of related projects which are managed in a coordinated manner to maximize the benefits arising from joint coordination. Programs, unlike projects, are often managed by a centralized management which aims to coordinate a group of projects to achieve the program's objectives and benefits. Portfolios are generally managed by a senior team at the highest levels of an organization or a specified business unit of an organization. Right, regional office or headquarters. I can give you an example of a portfolio. We're saying a portfolio is a collection of programs which are managed together, right? You can take, for example, maybe the Ministry of Education. They've got maybe 3 different programs in their portfolio. Yes, they've got 3 different programs in their portfolio. They've got primary and secondary education, they've got ECD education, and they've got also tertiary education. So all 3 of them can be used to come up to have a portfolio like this. All right. So they are what we call determinants. They are what we call determinants of project successes, right? Project success. For any project to succeed, we are looking at clear goals and objectives. What do we mean by that? We are saying that each and every stakeholder should have clear goals and should have clear objectives of the project. That's number 1. We must have a good project management plan. Without a good project management plan, we cannot achieve anything. That phase that say planning is essential, because if you don't plan, you plan to fail. So you must plan, you must have a good project management plan for us to succeed. Also, we must have adequate resources. Resources must be adequate. If you are having scarce resources, it's difficult to accomplish a project successfully. There must be transparency in all the processes that we are doing. There must be transparency in all the things that we look at. Monitoring and evaluation must be done. This helps to prevent things that we did not, things that we were going to be unforeseen, or things that we're going to continue until the end of the program. Like, let's take, for example, our chicken rearing projects. If we don't do monitoring and evaluation, before we know it, we'll discover that our chickens are dying, or before we know it, 20 chickens might die a day. So constant monitoring must be there, and we must evaluate. This is again another determinant of project success. So yes, in a nutshell, that's what project management is all about. I hope you enjoyed this introduction to project management, and I'm glad that we've discussed about it, and I'm happy to know that you're going to get more and more from what we've been talking about. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening, and thank you for this wonderful time. I hope to see you next time when we do, and we delve more in what project management is about. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your day. Good day.